Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack the big ideas behind complex topics. Just think for a second about the tech that surrounds you, your phone, maybe your laptop, even your car's dashboard. They seem like sleek gadgets, right?
Yeah.
But underneath, there's this hidden power. We're talking about the global semiconductor and circuit manufacturing market. These tiny things, they're basically the engines of our digital age.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're going deep. Our goal, to give you a clear view of this massive industry. We're using insights from the Global Semiconductor Market Forecast 2021-2033 by Cognitive Market Research. We'll look at the incredible growth, what's pushing it forward, and how different regions are playing their part. Think of it as your fast track to understanding a really critical sector.
And it is critical. Understanding this is key. Semiconductors, they're not just parts. They're literally the building blocks for, well, almost everything digital. If you want to get a handle on where technology is heading, maybe even global trade, you really need to grasp what's happening here.
Okay, so let's unpack that a bit. When we talk about this market, what does it actually cover? It's the whole chain, right? From the basic semiconductor materials to designing and making these complex integrated circuits, ICs, and then putting them into the microchips that actually run our devices.
Exactly. The whole ecosystem.
And these chips end up everywhere. Smartphones, computers, cars, TVs, telecom networks, factory machines. The list just goes on.
Yeah, it's fascinating how these tiny, tiny components enable so much. They're not just bits of silicon. They're the brains, They're what makes all the innovation possible.
So what are the big forces pushing this market forward so fast? The report mentions a few key drivers, things like AI, artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, 5G, high-performance computing too. From your perspective, are any of these having like a bigger immediate impact, or is it all happening at once?
That's a great question. And honestly, it's hard to single one out because they're so interconnected. They feed off each other. Take AI. It needs specialized chips, right? Like GPUs, NPUs.
For machine learning.
Right. Exactly. And the demand for those is just, well, it exploded. Then you've got IoT, billions of connected devices. That needs tons of different low-power specialized chips for sensing, controlling things.
Super efficient ones.
Super efficient, yeah. And 5G. That requires totally new kinds of chips for handling high frequencies, massive data, super low latency. Think self-driving cars, remote surgery.
Okay.
And high-performance computing, whether it's for science or cloud data centers or finance, it's always pushing the limits. So it's this cycle, really. Advances in one area create demand for better chips, which enables more advances. It just keeps going.
Wow. Okay, with those kinds of drivers, it makes sense the numbers are huge. Let's talk about the money. The report gives some pretty staggering figures. Back in 2021, the global market revenue was $461.097 billion.
A big number already.
Yeah, but just to start, by 2025, it hit $640.1 billion.
Quite a jump in 4 years.
And the forecast for 2033 is projected to reach $1,233.56 billion, over $1 trillion.
Think about that. Nearly tripling in, 12 years?
Yeah.
That's more than just market growth. It signals a huge acceleration in tech adoption globally. It shows how deeply dependent we're becoming on digital infrastructure for, well, everything. Economic growth, security.
Yeah.
These numbers tell you where the investment is going, where the innovation hotspots are, and, frankly, where the geopolitical tech race is playing out. It explains why governments everywhere are suddenly so focused on, securing their own chip supply.
Right, building domestic fabs and all that.
Exactly. The pandemic supply chain issues were a wake-up call. Nobody wants to be caught short on something this fundamental.
That dependence is a key theme. And this growth, it's not spread evenly, is it? The geography is really interesting. Let's look at the regional breakdown. Asia Pacific is the giant here, no surprise. It was $184.439 billion in 2021. Projected to hit $517.723 billion by 2033, more than doubling. And within that, you have behemoths like China, going from about $56 billion to over $147 billion.
Huge growth.
In Japan, too, $40 billion, up to nearly $106 billion. But look at India, $26 billion expected to become almost $83 billion. That's more than tripling.
Wow.
And South Korea, strong growth too. Even smaller players, like Singapore, showing impressive gains, $5.5 billion up to $19 billion.
So APAC is really dominant, not just in size, but manufacturing power.
Definitely. Now let's hop over to North America. Still a massive player. Total revenue there goes from $132.7 billion in 2021 to about $339.5 billion by 2033. And the U.S. is the powerhouse within that, naturally. $104 billion projected to grow to $261 billion.
Yeah, and what's interesting about North America, particularly the U.S., is while APAC might lead in volume manufacturing, the U.S. often holds a lead in the really high-value stuff, cutting-edge design, R&D, specialized chips for things like advanced AI or supercomputing.
Right, the design and innovation side.
Exactly, so it's sort of complementary. One region excels in manufacturing scale, the other in pushing the absolute frontier of the technology. It shows the strength of their innovation ecosystem.
Okay, that makes sense. Then there's Europe, also showing solid growth, from about $87 billion in 2021, projected to reach nearly $219 billion by 2033. Key players there include Germany, going from $14.5 billion to over $34 billion. And Russia's also mentioned, $11 billion, up to around $26.5 billion projected.
Consistent growth across the board, really.
It seems so. And it's not just the big three regions we're seeing this spread. Look at South America, led by Brazil. The whole region goes from roughly $31 billion to $92 billion. Brazil itself nearly triples. The Middle East, too, starting at $17.5 billion, aiming for almost $40 billion. Saudi Arabia is a key driver there. And even Africa, it's the smallest market now, around $9 billion in 2021. But it's projected to grow quite strongly proportionally to almost $26 billion. Countries like South Africa and Nigeria are showing notable increases.
So this really underscores the point, while the absolute numbers vary wildly, the proportional growth is happening everywhere. It's not just a developed world phenomenon anymore. It suggests this digital shift is truly global. Driven by local needs, could be basic connectivity, could be e-commerce, could be smart city projects, industrial upgrades, and increasingly you see these emerging markets investing in their own tech capabilities, not just consuming. They see semiconductors as key to their future development.
So bringing this all back, what's the bottom line for someone listening? Why do these huge numbers and regional shifts actually matter to, everyday life?
Well, it's not abstract at all, is it? This market directly shapes your world. Think about your next phone, how fast it is, or your internet speed, or your next car. Cars are basically becoming computers on wheels now.
Absolutely.
Smart home devices, the efficiency of online services, it all comes back to these chips, the pace of innovation, the cost of tech, the reliability of the digital services you use daily. It's all tied to this market.
Exactly. Understanding these trends helps you see the foundations of the future. It explains why digital infrastructure is suddenly a national security issue for governments.
It gives context to news about tech breakthroughs or supply chain problems or why certain skills are in demand. It helps you understand the why behind the tech that's changing your life. It's about the critical infrastructure that makes it all possible.
So, quite a journey we've covered. From these incredibly complex, tiny components to a projected global market worth over $1 trillion. They truly are the silent, unsung heroes powering our connected world. Rapid innovation, big economic shifts, and, a direct impact on all of us.
And maybe here's a final thought to leave you with. Given this relentless growth, this push towards embedding semiconductor intelligence into everything, what completely new possibilities, or maybe even new challenges, might emerge by 2033? Think about energy use, resource needs, cybersecurity threats on a scale we haven't seen, or how this deepening technological dependence might continue to reshape what it even means to be a developed or leading nation in the coming decade. Something to ponder.
Definitely food for thought. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the global semiconductor and circuit manufacturing market. We hope this gives you a clearer picture and encourages you to keep exploring how technology continues to shape our world.